Tan Songyun cooks for Soo Kai on set. Crew and fans in tears after seeing this heart-melting moment, loudly crying face red heart. The atmosphere on set that day felt like something out of a quiet dream, the kind where warmth settles itself not through grand gestures, but through the gentle presence of one person caring deeply for another. Tan Songyun, known for her bright laughter and a kindness that never tries to be seen, arrived early, arms full of grocery bags and a determined spark in her eyes. The filming had been intense for weeks. Scenes filled with emotional strain, physical fatigue, intricate choreography, and endless retakes had been wearing down the cast, especially Soo Kai, whose role demanded both mental sharpness and heavy emotional investment. Anyone who had worked behind the lens that week could see it, his shoulders slightly heavier, his eyes a little quieter, and his steps slower. Yet, as always, he remained disciplined, showing up fully for every scene, every cue, every camera direction. No one expected what would happen next. Not the assistant director's scheduling takes, not the crew rolling cables across the set floor, not the extras rehearsing background scenes. But Tan Songyun had noticed. Perhaps it was the subtle way she pays attention to people, perhaps it was the shared connection built from long hours acting across from one another, or perhaps it was simply her heart responding naturally. Without telling anyone, she had gone to the market the night before, picking vegetables, spices, and ingredients with a thoughtful kind of precision reserved for someone you truly care about. She didn't announce her intentions. She didn't call attention to herself. She just arrived before dawn, tied an apron around her waist, and began preparing a meal for Soo Kai with quiet dedication. The crew was stunned into silence when the smell of freshly cooked food drifted through the production tents. The fragrance was warm and familiar, ginger simmering in broth, sautéed greens, rice steamed to soft perfection, little touches that felt like home. More than one person paused mid-task, drawn in almost magnetically. When they realized who was cooking, whispers moved through the set in gentle waves. It wasn't a promotional event. It wasn't filmed content. It wasn't staged fan service. It was simply Tan Songyun caring for Soo Kai, pure and unembellished. Soo Kai had been reviewing lines when she approached. He lifted his head, expecting a script note or a cue call, but instead found her standing there holding a bento-style meal box she had arranged herself. It was neat, balanced, colorful, and undeniably made with intention. For a moment, he didn't say anything. The exhaustion in his eyes flickered, softened, then dissolved into something warm. It was one of those expressions that communicate paragraph after paragraph without a single word spoken. Tan Songyun gently scolded him for not eating properly, her tone light, but laced with real concern. He laughed, the kind of laugh that feels like the first exhale after holding your breath too long. He took the meal and sat down. And here's the part that would later have both fans and crew wiping tears. She didn't sit across from him like someone waiting for gratitude. Instead, she sat beside him. Not to be seen, not to be admired, just to share presence, quietly, tenderly. The moment could have ended there, but the universe of film sets is full of eyes, professional ones, observant ones, and ones simply touched by sincerity. Someone captured the scene on a phone. Not as paparazzi, but as someone overwhelmed by the humanity of it all. The video would later circulate among fans, eventually going viral across platforms, but in that moment on set, there was no viral sensation brewing. There was only warmth. Soo Kai ate slowly, savoring every bite as if his entire body recognized the nourishment beyond the food itself. Tan Songyun nudged him to finish everything, joking about how actors forget they are human when they're too dedicated. He teased back. Their banter was easy, familiar, the kind that speaks of long trust. The crew watched from a respectful distance, many with quiet smiles. And yet, it wasn't simply adorable, it was touching, deeply, in the marrow of the heart way. Some crew members later said that the atmosphere of the entire set shifted after that. The day felt lighter. People worked with renewed energy. Scenes flowed more effortlessly. And Soo Kai, who had seemed weighed down just hours earlier, filmed the most emotionally powerful sequence of the day with newfound strength. Songyun was there just off camera, watching, supporting silently, her presence like a soft thread linking calm to effort. Fans online reacted with emotional intensity that spread across comments, reposts, discussion threads, and reaction videos. Many wrote about how rare genuine kindness is in an industry often shaped by competition, image maintenance, and pressure. To see one actor care for another so simply, without show, without agenda, it touched something universal. Love does not always announce itself in dramatic gestures. Sometimes love is warm food placed in tired hands. Sometimes love is arriving early. Sometimes love is staying near without needing to be the center of attention. Rumors, of course, began swirling. Were they dating? Were they already together? Was this the beginning of something or the continuation of something that had quietly existed? Such questions flew wild and colorful, as they always do when emotions meet curiosity. But what makes this moment so remarkable is that it does not need romantic labeling to be meaningful. It was enough on its own. A gift of care. A reminder that behind screens, costumes, and spotlight glow, there are simply human beings who need tenderness, understanding, and connection. Still, for many fans who have followed the two across dramas, interviews, behind-the-scenes clips, and award appearances, the hope for something more is understandable. Their chemistry has always glowed. Their friendship has always felt deeply rooted, respectful, gentle. This moment only added to the quiet book of shared warmth they have authored together in the public eye. Whether their story is one of friendship or something blossoming beyond, it is beautiful either way. Songyun didn't cook to make headlines. She didn't plan to trend. But sometimes the most unforgettable stories begin when no one is trying to be seen. It was simply her heart responding to the tiredness in his. And that sincerity is exactly why fans cried, why crew felt moved, why this moment resonates so deeply across continents, languages, and screens. Somewhere in the footage, if you watch closely, there is a single second that encapsulates the entire feeling. Kai looking at Songyun with a quiet gratitude, the kind held in the softest parts of a person. His eyes say, "Thank you for seeing me." Her expression says, "I always do." Moments like this don't need dramatic music. They don't need headlines. They don't even need explanation. They live in the places where love, romantic, platonic, human, breathes. And that is why this scene broke hearts, mended hearts, and inspired hearts all at once. It reminded everyone watching that care is the language that requires no translation. And when spoken sincerely, it is unforgettable. The moment didn't end on set. What no one expected was how this single act of kindness would ripple into the days that followed. Because something in the air had changed. Not loudly, not dramatically, but in the quiet way a sunrise reshapes the entire sky without making a sound. Once you see it, you cannot unsee it. Once you feel it, the heart remembers. After that meal, Kai seemed to look at Songyun differently, not as just a co-star, nor simply a friend, but as someone who had reached into his life at a moment when he needed warmth most, and offered it without being asked. He became more relaxed on set, more joyful in between takes, his laughter softer but fuller, as if something inside him had unclenched. The crew noticed how often he would glance toward wherever she stood. Not possessively, not anxiously, but with a kind of gentle awareness, as if he was always checking if she was okay, too. And Songyun, though she still carried her familiar brightness, the kind that makes everyone around her feel like spring has arrived, also appeared more grounded, more at peace. When Kai laughed, she laughed with him. When he looked tired, she softened near him. They shared a rhythm that didn't need words to be understood. The set had seen chemistry before. They had seen playful banter, affectionate camaraderie, and respectful partnership. But this was something almost sacred. Fans who followed their behind-the-scenes updates began noticing subtle things. The way his hand would hover near her back when walking through crowded set pathways. The way she would lightly straighten his costume collar without thinking. The way they would speak in low tones, leaning slightly toward one another, as if their conversations were small worlds built for two. Some fans joked that the camera didn't need to work very hard. The love was already there. Others argued that people were reading too deeply. But even those who insisted they were just friends could not deny the tenderness between them. Tenderness is hard to fake. It is an energy, a presence, a softness that cannot be rehearsed or directed. It simply is. One evening, after a particularly heavy emotional scene that left Soo-kai visibly drained, he walked off set and found Songyun waiting just outside the light's perimeter. She didn't say anything at first. She just looked at him, eyes warm, steady. And he exhaled, the kind of exhale that feels like dropping armor. They stood like that for a moment, no performance, no eyes, no expectations, simply being. Someone nearby said softly, "This is love, isn't it?" Whether it is romantic love or the kind of soul-level companionship that defies labels, no one can say for certain. But what is undeniable is that something real exists between them. Something rare. Something gentle. And in a world where entertainment often thrives on spectacle, scandal, and noise, this quiet connection feels revolutionary. Not long after, photos surfaced of Soo-kai carrying a thermos that fans quickly identified as the same one Songyun had brought that day. When asked in an interview who gave it to him, Soo-kai's expression shifted for just a second, soft, warm, almost unguarded, before he simply replied, "Someone thoughtful." Someone thoughtful. 2 words. Yet they held galaxies. Meanwhile, Songyun was asked in a separate interview what her favorite memory from filming had been. She thought for a moment, then smiled. Not the charming smile of media-ready composure, but something more private, tender. She said, "The days when everyone took care of each other. Those meant a lot." Her eyes glimmered just slightly at the edges. The interviewer did not need clarification. The fans watching did not need explanation. Sometimes silence answers more truthfully than words. And perhaps that is the wonder of their bond. It does not seek to declare itself. It simply exists. Free of performance. Free of labels. Free of demands. It breathes. For fans, this moment has become one of the most heartwarming memories connected to either actor. They speak of it with the kind of affection usually reserved for stories told around a dinner table. Do you remember when Songyun cooked for Soo-kai and made the whole world cry? It has joined the quiet library of gentle love stories the world holds onto when it needs reminding that tenderness is real. But the story does not end here. There will be more moments, more glimpses, more quiet gestures that say more than any headline could. And that's where you come in. If you want to stay updated on the evolving closeness between Songyun and Soo-kai, if you want to be among the first to catch exclusive analysis, behind-the-scenes details, emotional story breakdowns, and future developments that mainstream media often overlooks, then make sure you don't miss out. Because stories like this, the soft ones, the healing ones, the ones that bring us back to the heart, deserve to be cherished, followed, revisited. So join the community that keeps the warmth alive. Glowing Star. Subscribe to Seoul Crown Media Glowing Star, where love stories are not just reported, they are felt. Be part of the viewers who notice the glances no one else sees, the gestures that speak louder than lines, and the moments that remind us that connection is still real in this world. Hit subscribe, turn on notifications, and continue this journey with us. Let's witness every new chapter together. Because something beautiful is unfolding. And you deserve to see it happen.